Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. We had a slightly spectacular weekend. We had a great weekend, and it's always nice if you can kind of have a good weekend. But for me, I felt today kind of as I needed a day break, which having a busy weekend doesn't give you, you know. I used to think back when I was still in my partying days, going out having fun, and then working all week and then repeat. That's why I think people burn out. You know, maybe you do it kind of by accident. You don't realize you're running thin until something breaks, you know, or you break. The one idea that I want to share with you, or that I want to discuss with you, and this is something I discuss with athletes, I discuss with friends, with family, maybe every day. Maybe I talk about this to someone in some form every single day. I think it's a part of my work, it's a part of my life, it's a part of the coaching I do. So, and it's to do with, I would say, emotions, controlling them, and then the thoughts and emotions that sometimes control you. You should choose, pick and choose which emotions you want to run with. You know, I think a lot of my friends know my humor. I like to vent, and I would add humor into that. It really blows off steam for me, and it's funny. I like to laugh. Most of what I do, I try to work in something funny or something fun, because I enjoy most of what I do. So it would leak out anyway, you know. But the one thing, I think it's maybe a good way for you if you want to start visualizing your emotions, which of course, how do you visualize feelings, right? These fucking irritating things that would come up and pop down, you know? I think the message kind of feelings and the way that your emotions control your mind, and then you thinking that's what you want because your brain, through one or other reason or chemical response or whatever is happening in your body has an influence on your mind. It's still one thing. People talk about your heart and your mind like working in, like it's still one body, man. Like if we split it up, it's great to talk about these things, but they all work in tandem at the end of the day. I sometimes talk about alchemy, something I read a lot about. And one thing that they use or utilize is the bottling up of certain things. They use phrases like sulfur and salts and different variations of fire and weird stuff like that. But the idea of it is bottling up emotions or feelings or certain thoughts that have certain impacts on your mood, right? So it's like if you can start realizing or seeing yourself every day, you're going to realize that what you do or when you do or how you do influences how you feel about things or how you feel about your day. It's difficult for me sometimes to think if I had a good or bad day because I don't have bad days. I maybe have busy days. Maybe some days are more anxious than others. You know, if you have a lot of things to do and you feel like not enough time or the tasks are piling up and you're kind of on the time where you should have been at your third task and you're still lagging on your first, that's fine. Just work through it and you'll get there. 1, 2, 3. So with the idea of bottling up, you know, there's two ways. I like the idea that you can retrieve confidence from a past success on the one side, and you can even utilize a good or bad emotion now to build confidence or to succeed now. So the one idea is I spoke to a mentor of mine a very long time ago. He was quite sick, sitting on the couch, and we spoke about. He was he's not, and it, you know, he was at the hospital and it was very bad at some stage. I think he was worried, or they were talking about worried that, you know, it might get very serious, you know, or lead to worse things than that. And I remember him talking about a show he did many moons ago when he was still a young buck, and how well he did with the amount of effort he put into a short period, and out achieving lots of the athletes that have put in much more time than him, you know, feeling that he's Mike Tyson, I like to use phrases like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kai Green, Mike Tyson, Phil Heath, Marcus Rule. These guys have all interesting phrases, and it's all bottled up into short phrases or short mottos, I guess. But it's just a way of explaining this type of the complexity of being a high performing athlete with the simplicity of life. Kind of those two things intermingling. And it's him looking back at that past achievement that gives him kind of a confidence, kind of that you're favored by God. You have this divine, or at least in your mind, purpose or goal that you're going to reach, and you're going to show everyone. And I always say the big secret is we're all kings and queens. Like, we tell nobody, but that's secretly what we want. Is we want to, whatever we're good at, we want to be the best in that. We want to perform. And the thing is, if you've done that before in your life, then you're going to experience all the nice and the bad that has to do with that. And that might change your taste for success. It might change the way you look at perceived success and fame. So at the end of the day, him attaching the confidence he achieved through that hard work in that time frame, and then doing as well as he did, and realizing that he could have even done better. He could have even done more and had a better outcome. That gave him, in that moment, kind of, you can see the fire in his eyes, that he can go through anything, And that's one way of bottling up a past success and dipping into the ink, as they say, every now and again when you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? And that kind of stupid phrase. And then on the other side, I remember every now and again where I was doubted. And when I was younger, it had a bigger influence on me than what it does now. Of course, now I don't give a shit. But you need to get through all of that when you're younger, that people tell you can't do that. No, you can't do that, And I think it's as you progress in life, you accept that easier from people. You eat their shit easier. Like, whatever they say, you suck it up, especially if you're lazy that day, especially if you're demotivated that day. So the one thing is, and I still have that bottle. Oh, it's great. Even now I'm picking that thing off. Some of my best training sessions have come from that bottle. Beautiful. That was always kind of in my mind. I thought, take off the lid. Just remember that faint odor of doubt that people had, and then just the way I completely blew them out of the fucking water, every and each one of them. Fuck them. And we showed them. So you can do the same. Every now and again I take off that bottle, and it's that odor of success that just keeps you going. So it's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing. So I say always, intention is a very important part. I think when you're younger, you can be kind of angry and driven, and you can push really hard. And then and later on you realize that drive, that emotions that you have, it all turns into the same thing. It's you wanting to succeed, regardless of what people say. Okay, so I thought I was going to share that with you. It's something just maybe maybe you're having a good day, maybe having a bad day, whatever you want to call it. You're still here. You still have the opportunity to improve now, tomorrow. If you never give up, it's so difficult sometimes when I see people with potential, people that can do so well, and I know it's in their hands to do it, and they just refuse to. They just refuse to. And then I have other people that work their fucking asses off and get their results, So I see all both sides, and I'm in it to win it for both of you, I'm still there. I'm here. Talk to me whenever you need me, and we'll get you right back on the right road, okay? All I need from you is commitment and a little bit of sacrifice here and there. A little bit of this and that, you know how it goes. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.